Hey, real estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga, the man with the plan. How's it going, Joey?
Excellent, man. How you doing?
Doing awesome. Well, we're the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. That was not Macho Man. Oh, there we go. Wrong. Oh, yeah. No, that was just a lot of fun. Hey, we have a special guest here with us today, and that special guest is John Trischetti with Remax Fine Properties. How's it going, John?
It's going well. How you doing?
Doing awesome, man. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I like the accent.
Well, thanks.
Wait a minute. Do I have the accent or do you have the accent?
Well, I like to think that you have the accent, but I'm, when in Rome.
Anyway, let's start right now with sharing with the audience of agents where you're from. Also, how long you've been in the business.
Okay.
And how about what really got you into real estate?
Okay.
How about that?
I'm originally from Long Island, New York. I came out here because my grandparents moved to Arizona, and I had a second cousin that lived here, and he took me to an ASU football game, and I was hooked. I walked on the campus and went down Palm Walk, and it was the end of November, beginning of December, and I just walked around. I went to the rec center, and I said, "Oh my God, this is Club Med with books. This is where I'm going." That was it. I was sold.
Club Med with books.
So I started to reach out to the football team, the coaches, and winded up playing football for ASU for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And got my degree in finance and graduated and moved back to New York for a little bit, and then I realized how much I loved Arizona.
Yeah.
It was a much easier lifestyle, so I decided to come back, and here I am.
All right.
And then the way I got into real estate was while I was in college. I actually kind of did it backwards, believe it or not. I was a mortgage broker.
Okay.
And I was working for someone doing that for a while, and I was starting to accumulate buy and sell properties. And I was dealing, no point intended, this isn't offensive to anyone, but I was dealing with a lot of idiot real estate agents that didn't know what they were doing.
Okay.
So I got frustrated, and then finally I said to myself, you know what, I'm just going to go and get my license myself.
Yeah.
Well, you're not
morphed.
doing it backward, because Jeff and I were both mortgage brokers.
Yeah, we were actually
we
mortgage
got
brokers.
into real
Yeah,
estate.
all
right, so
you
there you
actually
go.
did it the right way.
I did it the right way. But that actually kind of gives me a leg up, because I understand, A, I got a degree in finance, and then B, being in the mortgage business, I have a good solid foundation of an understanding of how money works, which helps me be able to communicate to clients and help them be able to buy or sell a house.
Yeah, great. Okay. I want to hear ASU football, huh?
Yeah.
What
Just
position?
for a little bit.
So what-
I was Rudy. I never got in and played.
Oh,
but
you were Rudy.
I was basically, if you guys know the movie, I was basically
absolutely.
on the scout team.
It's a great movie.
But I was working my way up.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my father became very ill, and I had to move back to New York and help the family out. But thank God he got better. And then when he got better, that's when I decided to come back and complete my education. But it was an experience of a lifetime, and I would never change that. If you want to, people think that college football is all fun and games. It's not. You're up at 7 in the morning and you don't come home till 10:30 at night.
Wow.
There is no college life.
Yeah.
There's
Wow.
none.
Wow. Great experience, though, huh?
Wouldn't
Probably
change it for
tell
the
you.
world.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, what are you doing right now in here in the Valley to be successful with real estate? What's the day in the life of John, I guess, right?
The day in the life of John. Take a camera and follow me around. You're probably a good best-selling show.
Yeah.
But, no. Anyway, typically what I do is most agents, I find that they get very frustrated with the whole aspect of the business, and I can understand why it can be very frustrating. What I try and do is I really work my sphere of influence, and then also I get a lot of business from other agents' failures.
Yeah.
And when I first got into the business, I made a promise to myself and to my family that I would absolutely operate from a place of ethics. And I would always take the fiduciary responsibility of the client first, no matter what. So it's not about the sale, it's about building and developing the relationship.
Yeah.
And when you build and develop that relationship with the client, then the business just grows organically.
Right.
Because your reputation will precede you.
Yeah.
If you're in it for the money, don't get into real estate. That's the truth.
great.
If you're in it to build relationships and get to know people and make a difference in their life, then it's a rewarding business.
Yeah, yeah. And you and I were talking before the show about, the I guess the benefit, or maybe how do I want to say this? Focusing on a smaller number of really loyal clients and friends and family is better than targeting the masses, right?
Completely agree.
So the 100 really loyal and you mentioned you go out to dinner, You do certain types of dinner bets with them too?
Yeah, I do.
Just some fun stuff revolving around sports, right? I think that's great because I think too many of us in real estate, we just think, let's put out this big ad, let's concentrate on these 10,000 people or this 1,000. But if you can truly rein in and build that tribe, right? That smaller tribe around you, that's where the success is.
Build the brand, build the loyalty, and then I come from the perspective of, listen, as a military, we don't carpet bomb anymore. We use laser-guided missiles or GPS-guided missiles, right? So the mindset of the philosophy has to work the same with real estate. You want to focus on those that you know is going to be able to connect and help you make money and make a difference in their lives.
Yeah.
Give your best to your best.
Right.
Don't waste your time with those that's not going to give you their best.
Yeah.
So that's typically what I do.
That makes sense. Are you working kind of a split business, buyers versus listings, or are you getting more listings, more buyers?
So when I first started in the business, I was predominantly a buyer's agent.
Okay.
And I think it's a great way to start, actually, because what happens is when you're a buyer's agent, you start to drive around and you really start to get a handle on what the inventory is. So I don't care where you are in real estate, how successful you are, never let that piece of real estate go.
Yeah.
Because you have to know the inventory, you have to know what's available, so this way it makes you the expert in the area. Because if you're not the expert, what value are you bringing to the client?
Right.
So a lot of people say, I'm a listing agent. That's great. But at the same token, if you're not working with buyers, then how do you really know what buyers want? So
that's a great point.
I started out with buyers predominantly, and then I'd say in the last year it's shifted predominantly to listings, which I prefer listings.
Yeah.
But at the same token, I try and keep it about 60-40. 60% listings, 40% buyers, because buyers eventually become sellers.
Right.
And truthfully, the relationship is easier to develop with the buyer than it is with a seller. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah. And you mentioned before that you're not really doing a lot of marketing. I mean, online marketing or anything like that, right? You're mostly just the relationship building?
I do absolutely nothing for marketing. The only thing I do for marketing is I call my rep called Shari Griffin for security title, so there's your plug. And I say, Shari, I need this, I need that, and she jumps right on it and gets it done.
Yeah.
I think that advertising and marketing can be effective, but you have to really, really put a lot of focus and energy into it and a lot of money.
Right.
However, again, I come from a different mold. I think that you should really limit the people that you're working with, but know that those people that you're working with are going to buy or sell or invest in real estate, or at least refer you to somebody that's going to do one of the three.
For sure. And you mentioned, too, that you have a pretty sizable database, or at least sphere of influence.
Yes. My sphere of influence is large, so as a little bit of a background, I was in the restaurant business for about 15 years. And being in the restaurant business taught me a lot of how to handle this business. So one of the things that I like to do when I was a server was I wanted to be there from start to finish, right? So I would greet the table, give them the menu, tell them the specials, food, take the order, food came out, so on and so forth, right? So the same philosophy works with real estate.
Yeah.
I want to be there from beginning to end. I want to know everything that's going on in the transaction, and I want to be educated as to what the needs and the wants of the clients are.
Right.
And if there becomes a problem, I'm not saying that you can't leverage out and you can't give to other people and let them handle certain areas, and then you focus on what's going to make you money.
Sure.
That's important. But always know that you're CC'd on everything that's going on. So if the client does call you, you don't have to say, I have to reach out to my assistant. You already know what's happening.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. What kind of advice would you give right now? So let's say whether it's a new agent or maybe it's an agent that maybe their business has slowed down a bit. What would you tell them right now to go out and get business? What should they do?
Okay, so this is where I'm different than most agents. A lot of brokers are going to tell you go door knock. A lot of brokers are going to tell you go do open houses. A lot of them are going to tell you call FSBOs, expireds, and canceled. And I'm not saying that doesn't get you business. It does. But that's more of a macro approach. I'm looking for more of a micro approach.
Yeah.
A lot of times what happens is if you start working like that and you're working and working and working and you don't get business, your level of frustration becomes extremely high, and then you want to quit and get out of the business. Okay? So I say the best way to do it is find out who is interested in buying or selling and investing in real estate. And then with those people, let them know that you're top of mind and show them the value of who you are as the real estate agent. Know your market. Ask the question.
Yeah.
Bring the value to the client. If you don't bring any value to the client, they're just going to move on to the next.
Right.
And you're never going to get to that next level.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So one practice, I guess, the agents could do to start that would be to sit down and actually write out everybody they know, right?
Agreed.
Start making those connections with everybody they know.
Agreed.
To build those relationships. I think too many people just count on, like I was saying before, just the advertising out to the masses of people that have no clue who they are, and they forget about, you know what? There are 50 people I actually know on a first-name basis. Am I calling them? No. Why not?
Exactly. So the phone is the fastest conduit to the market.
Yeah.
Okay? No one makes phone calls anymore today. And if they do make a phone call, they're calling FSBOs, expireds, and cancels. And they're already pissed off. They don't want to talk to you.
Right.
Not saying it doesn't work. I'm not saying to abandon it. Okay? But layer it.
Right.
But put your focus and energy into someone that knows you where you already have the leg up.
Okay. All right. Great advice. Great advice. You know, one thing I have to say, some of the guests that we've had on have had a hospitality background, like yourself, whether it was restaurant or hotel, resort, whatever. And one of the things that, and Joey, you may agree with this, or let me know if you don't or do, but one thing that I'm noticing from those guests that have that background is that they're putting a lot more effort into the relationship of the client, so much that they're treating them like family. Exactly or friends. Right. So I'm seeing that trend between the people that have that hospitality background for sure.
So that's exactly what I do. I treat everybody like their family. I really do.
Yeah.
And I treat them like family. I treat them like a friend. But I never lose my aspect of professionalism either. Okay, so that's important. You always want to maintain your level of professionalism,
right?
But at the same time, let them know that you're a human being too.
Yeah, for sure.
And let them know you're in the foxhole with them. You're here to help them.
No, that's great. Yeah, and if you're not if you're listening, not watching the video, make sure to go to Security Title's Facebook page and watch the video because John's definitely dressing the part of success and professionalism. Got his vest on and tie, and here we are, Joey and I, in our T-shirts. How about that?
So let's go with that for a second, right? So one of the questions that you're going to say to you is, what's one of the best pieces of advice anyone ever gave you, right? Well, for me, it's probably three things. One is, I don't want to get religious or anything, but I live my life by 1 Philippians 4:13, and it says, I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. So if you believe that you can do all things, if you have that mindset, then you can accomplish anything that you want to accomplish. You have to believe in yourself first. That's number one. Number two was when I was in school, my finance professor, who was a venture capitalist, amazing guy, was from New York, loved him. Difficult, but loved him. I could be difficult too, so that's probably why I liked him. But anyway, he said, if you want to get the part, you have to look the part, talk the part, be the part, walk the part, and you'll get the part. So your first impression is very important to people. Yeah. Even if you're outside and you're in the supermarket, whatever it is, if you're dressed up, people look at you. And then they want to know what it is that you do. And then for me, with my accent, which is a great gateway to create conversations, lets them know I'm in real estate. Yeah. And that's how the conversations start.
Okay.
So let's create the conversation.
You just admitted that you have the accent.
Well, yeah, I did. You got me on that one.
Oh, there we go.
And then one more last thing. And my mother always told me, and it's very true, you cannot keep that which is not yours.
Yeah.
So if you don't do things that's the right way, and you don't do right by your client, you'll never get to keep that which is not yours.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
That's great. Write that one down.
Write it down. All right. So you ready? You ready to get in the ring? We're going to get in the ring now.
I'm ready. I'm just sticking and moving.
All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So we already got the advice is awesome. How about a book recommendation that you would like to give to agents?
I'm going to give two.
Okay.
Sun Tzu, The Art of the Deal.
That's a good one.
And then, I don't want to get political, but it was a great book. I'm sorry. One was The Art of War with Sun Tzu, and the other one is The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. Very good book.
Yeah, read them both. Good. Mm-hmm. Good ones.
All right. How about a productivity tool or software that you use on a regular basis?
Honestly, I use Wise Agent, but as far as productivity tool is concerned, that's Shari. She is my productivity tool, and then I would say that in Facebook. I do a lot of posts and things of that nature on Facebook and LinkedIn and things of that nature.
Yeah. Security Title does a great job helping out their agents, I think.
I agree.
Oh, We are here at Security
They
Title
do.
Cities, aren't we? Yeah, they do an awesome job. All right, so we're going to do one more thing. We're going to have you draw from the hat.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
Do I have to read this or do you read it?
Yeah, you can read it. How about
You want me
that?
to read it? I got to put my glasses on now. Hold on. Now I'm showing my age. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? Very simple, Italy. Why? Because I'm Italian and I've never been there. But from what I've heard, it's an amazing place, and I would love to be able to see where my ancestors came from and learn the history and the tradition of the country.
Yeah.
So that's probably where I would go.
What would you eat? What's your favorite Italian food? How about that? And even
My favorite
whatever
Italian
you say,
dish?
I'm probably not going to understand what it is. But
I'll explain it to you. My favorite Italian dish is probably veal sorrentino, which is veal scallopini style. Sliced. It's 3 slices of veal sliced thin, which is medallion style. It's made with grilled eggplant, prosciutto, and melted fresh mozzarella on top. Made in a little bit of a Marsala wine and a touch of marinara.
Wow. I'm hungry now.
it's lunchtime. Let's
Yeah, I'm ready for
finish
lunch
this up and
myself.
never get. Well, thank you so much for being here. I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Hey, if an agent is interested in reaching out to you directly,
Please do. I love to
how
help.
How can
and
they
get
reach
back. Am I allowed to give my
you?
telephone
Yeah,
number?
phone number,
Okay.
email, whatever you want to give.
602-502-5213. Send me a text. It's the fastest response you're going to get.
Text.
But let me know what the reason is. And I'll
sure.
help you in any way I can. I'm not one of those guys that tries to hide anything. I'm an
Okay.
open book.
All right. Well, thanks, John, for being here.
No,
It's
my
been
pleasure.
great information. Do you want to? We'll have him put on the mask after the show.
I'm not putting on the mask.
Oh, come on. All right. Well, this is Jeff Underwood along with,
Joey Sampaga.
and we want to also give a shout out to Academy Mortgage, who is the sponsor of the show. Thank you so much, Academy.
Yes.
Until next time, take care.
Good job, guys.
Way to go.
Good job.
Way to go.
The Weekly Closer podcast is sponsored by Jake Krabby, NMLS number 877141 at Academy Mortgage. Are you looking to buy or refinance a home? Jake Krabby is your mortgage professional. Contact Jake at 480-442-9291. Jake Krabby is a loan officer at Academy Mortgage, NMLS number 877141. State license for Arizona number 0920357, AZBK number 0904081, and New Mexico number 877141. Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, and New Mexico 01451. Call 480-442-9291. Address 15333 North Pima Road, Suite 205, Scottsdale, Arizona 85260. Academy Mortgage is an equal housing